Good morning. It's Kirsten Liebelt. How are you doing? It's so good to see you. Good morning. Okay, so how are you doing? I really do hope you're doing well. I have been hearing from a lot of you in my DMs, and it's been really fun because I love it when people ask me questions about certain things about the food that they're making because it's like, this was my biggest hurdle. And I'm like, if I can do this, I really do want everybody to know you can do it too. I'm like, seriously. No, really, seriously. I wish I had okay, I do have pictures, and if I had another device, I could show you pictures, right? Um, anyway, I can do that. But the truth is that, in fact, I'll find one for you here. As an Italian girl, changing out my foods was a really big deal. So we're going to talk just a little bit about being protein forward, because if you really want to be able to lose weight as an insulin resistant person, this is like a hack. This is like a key. This is a really big deal. Okay. So I'm going to give you I'll just give you some more ideas today, just like we did yesterday. So I would love to know, if you're on the replay, where are you coming in from? I always love to know, where are people coming in from? It's always very, very good. And I don't know, but I think I used to be able to change things on TikTok. Oh, there we go. I can change things on TikTok. Okay. All right. So today, what I wanted to do was show you another example of 30 grams of protein in a meal. Because if you begin to prioritize protein, you're going to maintain your lean muscle mass, you're going to lose weight faster, and you're going to stabilize your blood sugars and feel amazing, all at the same time. So when we talk about insulin resistance and how to better deal with that, hold on, I'm going to go to my website and find this picture for you. I think this will help you. Okay, so here's a before and after, right? So in my 40s, knowing that I'm insulin resistant, knowing that I need to do something for my sugars, I'll hold that up to you, TikTok, in just a second. Basically, my mom wouldn't leave me alone about my sugars. My dad died of type 2 diabetes when he was 63 years old. And I'm literally a hot mess express. So if you're in your 40s, you're insulin resistant, you don't know it, this is the key for your weight loss. I'm just telling you, like the best friend that you ever had. I have so many conversations with people talking about how it was just yesterday. And again, sometimes they kind of blend together. So if you're on here and I'm talking about it and I forget who it was, I apologize. But I'm talking about how, in fact, I think I know who it is. How the doctor saying that, oh, I know what it is. I know what it is. Okay. Spent $3,000 for a functional person. Now, oh, call Perminder. I know you can't order from the US. I know. I'm so sorry. I wish I had answers for you. I can sell in the United States and Canada for the trio, the 3 supplements that have 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. I know. And the testimonies are so good. I don't know. DM me. Will you message me and remind me that you are out of the country? And I'll see if I can direct you. The issue is not that you can't order from me. That's, of course, an issue, but it's that governments don't allow all the same ingredients. So the United States, Canada, and the Dominican Republic can have the same ingredients. This is what I know. But other countries, because I do have a lot of people from Australia and England, et cetera. So anyway, but message me if you would. So my dad, okay, so oh man, where was I going with that? Hold on just a second. Okay, so I'm such a hot mess express in my 40s. And my mom is like, you know what? Because my dad died when I was 30. And I have a lot of obesity and type 2 diabetes in my family. And I really did not know that I could trade out. Okay. I didn't believe in myself. I'm going to just tell you the honest truth. I didn't believe that I could change out the emotional connections to food. And if that's you, then maybe you kind of resonate with that and you understand. Thank you for the follow, you guys. Thank you so much, Leela. I appreciate you. It's a real thing. Growing up Italian is very much like you mourn with food at funerals and you celebrate with food at weddings. Like, this is what you do. And you basically are told, manja, you have to eat, right? And it's almost an insult to not eat the food that's placed before you. Like, this is an issue. So this is why now I talk about food like I do, because it's like, I didn't know any of this stuff. I didn't know anything about how to, hey, Bluebird. Yes. Good to see you. It's been a while. I didn't know any of this. I didn't know how to dissect food. I didn't know I could still be a foodie. I didn't know insulin was a hormone. I didn't know anything. So when I show you that picture of me, this is me when I was this is ignorance, just total ignorance. This left-hand side here, I'll pull up just the left-hand side. That's me when I really, 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 really just didn't know. I'm in my upper 40s. I'm like perimenopausal. I'm getting close to having a shoulder surgery that lands me straight into menopause. Never had a cycle again. Never. That's what surgery did to me. That's just my story, right? And that's what's happened. So I was telling you the story about this friend that she texted me and she said she spent $3,000 on a functional person. Now, I am not a doctor. I'm an Italian girl who had her dad die when she was 30 with a lazy Susan full of meds. And I wanted to know why. Why, if modern medicine is so freaking amazing, did he die? Why didn't that help turn things around? Why didn't that help things heal him? Why didn't that help? Like, I'm super naive. This is how much I didn't know. I actually thought meds were going to do that. Like, that's how naive I was. Okay. Does that make sense? All right. So having said that, when somebody tells me that they spent $3,000 on a functional person that told them that they could still be eating sweet potatoes, and that when they started listening to me going, no, you can't, I had to stop the sweet potatoes, people, if I wanted to actually lose weight, right? Then she has actually made progress. I'm just telling you. And I'm so cautious the way that I say that. Can you tell I'm a little pensive? Can you tell? Because you guys, this is not rocket science. And spending $3,000 to get bad information. I'm not trying to say that I'm smarter than that functional person, because that's not fair. I didn't go to school for all those years. But I'm sorry, what the HE double hockey sticks is that all about? And it wasn't just sweet potatoes. That was only one thing. There were many other things, that were other pieces to her puzzle that she was being told she could eat. I had somebody recently, in the last 3 years, went to her diabetic nutrition person that said, you can have 150 grams of carbs a day. As a type 2, taking meds by mouth, you can have 150 grams of carbs a day. No, you can't. Why is this so hard? Why is this so hard for us to get the right information? Do you know what the answer was to her? You probably spent $3,000 on good food and lost 60 pounds following my guidance, Bluebird. I don't know if that's good or bad that you spent $3,000. No, I'm just kidding. You lost 60 pounds. That is so amazing. I love that so much. Thank you Debbie, thank you for sharing. You're amazing. But I'm just saying, this is not rocket science. Okay. So this is ridiculous. But you know what the nutritionist said to her? Not only you can have 150 grams of carbs a day, all you have to do. Now tell me if you think this is normal. Tell me in the comments if you think this is normal or if this is potentially sinister information. Now we're getting into the weeds. I haven't even showed you the food yet. All you have to do is go from the pill to an injection. Literally told that to her locally to me in Minnesota from a diabetic nutritionist. Is that good advice to up your dose and up your med, or is that not good advice? I'm just wondering. Stop eating the carbs do you know what I'm saying? We are not talking about something terminal. I've really been saying that a lot lately. It's awesome. You regret nothing. Woohoo! Hey, Anna, good to see you. Yep. She gave her bad advice. Bad advice, you guys. So let's just bond together, not good advice. Let's just come together and go, okay, we can be our own advocates. Listen, I'm just an Italian girl. It's all really, seriously. I have spent a lot of time studying people that because I wanted to understand why this was true, the way that this was going, like with my family, etc. And now I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to be really honest with you. I'm the only one in my family that avoided type 2. My dad took the the route of medication. I took the route of supplementation. That's what I talk about all the time. That's what she's asking me about from another country. And I don't even know what country. She just said outside of the United States. She can't buy the trio, the 3 supplements that have the 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. It's how I started. It's my most authentic story that I could tell you. And I did that to be able to turn things around, to calm the food noise, because if you can bring down your insulin and your sugars, you can calm that food noise, and you can start to give your body the raw materials that it needs in order to actually, excuse me, turn things around. But then I was able to take a breath, look at my food, and I'll explain this to you right now, like what 30 grams looks like of protein, just to give you an idea. And I've got a couple good tips here for you. But you know what? When you're in the middle of the hamster wheel and you're hangry and you're just craving and you don't know how to get out of the craving and you're like, how am I ever going to get out of the cycle? I understand. Poster child of sugar addict, massive sugar addict. Choice of sugar in my 30s was snack size Snicker bars. Choice of sugar in my 40s was theater popcorn and Milk Duds, or Trader Joe's salt and pepper kettle chips, right? So those were mine. What are yours? Thank you for sharing. You're so amazing, Anna. Yeah, such a sugar addict. And so if you're wanting, that's one of the many things that the trio, those 3 supplements help with, is sugar cravings. Okay. So I'll just throw that out there for it so that you understand what I'm talking about. You guys can always, on Facebook and on YouTube, you can always go to my website is right here for you. You can look. My website is my first and last name.com. It gets super easy. I made it super easy, right? First last name.com. Second button has the testimonies. Third button has the actual product that you can look at. Okay. But let's get to food. Let's talk about food. And you can always, at the Butterfinger candy bars. Yes. At the top of my site, there's a phone number. Okay. So at the top of the site that I showed you, text me if you have a question. Here, I'll show this to you. This is how easy this is. See this? This is my site. Look at that. Text me. There's a phone number. Okay. So that you can actually, yes, you can go look at the second button for the testimonies. Yes, you can look at the other things, whatever. Yes, you can find that Facebook blue button right there. And you can jump into the women's group that has over 3,000 women in it talking about insulin resistance. And I do a challenge in there every single month. Yes, you can do that and get food ideas. Okay. All right. First last name.com. Let's talk about this. So getting in over 100 grams of protein every single day helps to stabilize your blood sugar. You want your blood sugar, everything you eat, ask yourself the question, how much is this going to spike my sugars? That's the question you need to ask all the time, because this is the information that we don't know. This is the information. You still miss kettle chips. I resonate with that. I understand. But this is the information that we're not thinking about because we're just kind of going on the river of life, right? And the river of life is just filled with marketing. It's filled with a lot of like telling you what's healthy when it's not, just like telling you what a good food pyramid is and it's not, all of those things. And so we just kind of like allow all of these messages to be in our head, right? So let's talk about how we can change that up. Now, this is actually, and you guys eating this way is amazing. Like, I shouldn't have to talk anybody into eating this way. You should be like, you should try this one time and go, OMG, like I'm going to ditch the processed food and I'm going to eat, real food so that I can feel full like this all the time. This is going to help you so much. You're going to be like full for hours when you get up in the morning and you have like 30 grams of protein. You can have more, but 30, that's how you can chunk it out throughout the day and get over 100 for the day. It's not hard. Like a chicken breast has 42 grams of protein. This is not hard. Okay. Just to tell you. Anyway, so this is one breakfast idea. Let me start with the meat that I have in here because I found these at Walmart. I don't love going to Walmart, but I like talking about it. I like going there so that I can talk about it, so that I can get everybody to understand how available this is to every single person that I'm talking to. unless you're in another country and you don't have a Walmart. But for most people, you have some sort of a very normal, regular store. That's really my point. Okay. So I went to Walmart and I found these chicken sausages. This one is what I cooked up this morning. It's smoked Gouda. I think this was for something. There's four, so it's a little over $1 a sausage. Okay. So don't pick the cheapest package you can find where you turn it around and there's corn syrup in it. Like, let's not do that. Okay. Let's ditch the corn syrup. Let's ditch the issue. Right. Okay. But what I'm saying is, like, you might look at that and go, oh, but that's more expensive than the, Johnsonville, whatever. I don't even know what it would be. But look at the ingredients and then you'll know why. Okay. It's not filled with a bunch of crap. So anyway, smoked Gouda. And then this one is caprese. And so let me tell you why this is a better option. Okay. Well, first of all, no matter what chicken sausage you're eating, whether it's filled with bad ingredients or good ingredients, it's going to have really good protein. So the one that I made up this morning has 13 grams of protein. 13 grams. That's really decent, right? Now I'm going to add it to some eggs and I'm going to up that protein. So let me just show you this. These taste really good. There are no artificial ingredients. They're minimally processed. This is called Gilbert's. I had never bought it before. It's really good. Gilbert's. So I like this smoked Gouda chicken sausage. Gluten-free, pork-free, no added nitrates, nitrates. Decent ingredients. I had looked at them when I bought them. Decent enough for everything. Totally fine. Like, I'm like, okay, that's cool. So if you spend over $1 for a sausage, that's not bad, right? Right? Because everybody said it's so expensive to eat healthy. This is what we say, right? This is what we've been conditioned to say. It's too expensive to eat healthy. No, it's not. Okay. And I can't wait to try this one. Basil, mozzarella, sun-dried tomatoes. So, all right, there you go. Then I'm taking an Egg Life wrap. Have you guys heard of these Egg Life wraps? Again, probably you get 6 of them for probably $5, and it may be even more. Let's just be crazy pants and say that it's $1, that it's $1 a wrap. Let's just say it's $1 a wrap. Okay. Again. Okay. Now we're at $2. What does it cost to go out to eat? I'm just asking. So $2. So you take an Egg Life wrap. Now I'm not going to lie to you. This does not taste like a wheat tortilla. This does not taste like amazing wheat. Like, we love our flour tortillas, don't we? We love them very, very much. But that was not Bluebird. Thank you for the question. It's not in the freezer section. This was actually at Walmart in the refrigerated section next to all of the other, I think, hot dogs. So it was not in the freezer section. Great question. You love eating these wraps. You turn these into chips. A lot of people do that. So these are literally egg whites. You could make this yourself. I've tried. I just have not taken the patience. I've not chosen my patience to make them. But Maria Emmerich teaches you how to make them. Anyway, with a little bit of egg white and gelatin. This is just easier. So if you grab this, you can turn this into any kind of a burrito, right? You can turn this into, like she said, she does chips. So I'm assuming that maybe Anna is like air frying this, or you could, put a little bit of olive oil on it and bake it, or crisp it up or fry it and then cut it up. Okay. Then basically you can take this, put it inside of your wrap, and you've got a little breakfast burrito. This is 2 scrambled eggs and a chicken sausage. Each egg has 6 grams of protein. So that's 12. The chicken sausage is 13 grams of protein. So that's 25. This has 5 grams of protein. And now we are at 30 grams of protein. Does that make sense? That wasn't hard. Nothing here is going to spike your sugars to the moon like any cereal, any grain will do. Obviously, I'm not adding orange juice. I would never. That's really a bad idea. Juice is really bad for you. We have got to stop feeding that to our children. Please stop feeding juice to your children. It's really, really bad. And yep, in the air fryer. Okay, good. Candace, thank you for the follow. You're amazing. And basically now, this is what I'll have for breakfast and what'll happen. And of course, think about it. Hot sauce. You can put any condiments on there that you want, etc. My Mama Kay, thank you for the follow. My blood sugar now. Anytime you eat, you're calling on insulin. Doesn't matter, right? Anytime you eat. But this is going to call on very little insulin. I'm going to eat and my insulin's going to go, because it doesn't need a lot to combat a lot of sugar in my blood. Okay. And why do you care? Why do you care? Because once you're insulin resistant, you have crossed over into another land, so to speak. You just have to do things differently. And you know it inside of yourself. You can tell that you are definitely wanting a different way to be able to lose weight. You can tell that something isn't right. The old things aren't working for you, counting points or just a calorie deficit only, etc. And so now if we change the lens of how we view everything, we can look at it through the lens of insulin resistance, meaning insulin is a hormone. So if you are resistant, your cell is not allowing insulin to get into it to get the fuel into your cell so that you can have energy. So not only are you exhausted, but the other piece of the puzzle is that insulin as a hormone will store that extra fuel as fat. That's what's not being discussed. And so now you're chasing a hamster wheel thinking that whatever you've already believed about losing weight, oh, I just have to work out more. I just have to count my points. I just need to eat more fiber. No, you don't. That's not your answer. I know a lot of people think that. You're welcome, Nana Banana. I love that name. You haven't heard anything from Dietitian Type today. It's a joke. I know. I'm sorry. I know. I hear this literally all day, every day. I get it. And I'm sorry. And I don't know, I don't want to believe, but it sure seems like maybe, scripts are very profitable. What do you think? I just think maybe that's a big piece of it. But anyway, but my point being that, so once you are insulin resistant, you have to go from insulin resistant to insulin sensitive. You need your cell to not be closed off anymore. If your insulin is trying to get fuel into the cell and it can't get it in there, and it's like it's broken, the key is broken. Yep, I know. The key is broken and it can't get into your cell. So you need your cell to not be closed off anymore. You need your cell to become more sensitive. Okay? Sensitive, like Pac-Man, like open, so that the insulin can get the glucose in there. Does this happen overnight? No. Does this take longer sometimes than you want it to take? Yes. But is it reversible? Can you turn it all back? Yes. Yes, you can. That's like the best news ever, because again, let me just say, we're not talking about something that's terminal. Somebody who's dealing with something that's terminal, they have to navigate a lot of protocol and a lot of doctors and a lot of thought process. This is simple, Simon. Up your protein. Zoe, thank you for the follow. Up your protein. Eat protein forward. Excuse me. Eat protein forward. Eat really good fat. Okay, no processed foods, right? So I'm grain-free. I'm sugar-free. This is what I teach in my Facebook group, right? And I'm telling you, I'm Italian. If I can do this, I promise you anybody can do this. Do you know how good this tastes? Smoked Gouda chicken sausage with a couple of scrambled eggs wrapped up in yummy. Like, this is really good. 60 pounds took 10 and a half months. That's amazing. Good for you. Amazing. I love that so much. And so, no processed foods. I focus on meat, eggs, vegetables, non-starchy. There shouldn't be a question about that. If somebody's telling you that you can be eating sweet potatoes all the time, that was my problem. That's why I had to really tweak myself. I had to learn by process how to tweak and tweak and tweak and tweak until I got to this, until I understood, oh, I'm still spiking my sugars too much. I'm still eating natural sugars. God didn't make bad fruit. That's not the conversation. You're right. He didn't. But we've done two things. One is we've hybrided. We've hybrid our fruit to make it sweeter. So all those little tiny halos that you're feeding the kids, super high in sugar. Now, a kid's metabolism can probably handle it for a while, right? But once you're insulin resistant, you can't be doing that. My mom, I don't know if I should tell the story or not. I suppose it doesn't matter. Grain food means no oats. That is correct, Rhonda. No oats. Oats are really spiking, really, really bad, actually. But these are the things that we've been taught, that it's heart healthy, that it's really important. But we've had an overconsumption of carbohydrates, creating insulin resistance. And now, if you don't want to move into type 2, if you don't want gout, if you don't want, PCOS and insulin resistance of the brain, if you don't want it to continue and progress, you have to pull back on where we started. So my mom, when she ended up, she would have never had, honestly, she would have never had dementia, I don't believe, had she not taken a certain route because of kidney cancer. And they told her to be afraid of protein. So she focused so much on processed foods and things that were spiking her sugars. Anyway, that's another conversation. I can go deep into that on a live because I'm very passionate about it. But at like 88 or whatever, we recognized her dementia. She died last year at 94. And in taking care of her, when you're walking that process of dementia, you don't know how to help somebody, like you don't know the steps that are going to happen. So like, for instance, I would go and I would put groceries in her refrigerator and I would buy her like a little bag of the Halo oranges, the clementines or whatever that they're called. And basically, I would come back and she would have eaten the entire bag. Literally the entire bag. So much sugar, right? But again, I know, Nicole, I know you thought oats have good fibers. Fiber is not our issue. And oats are very refined and they will spike your sugars. So again, oats have helped. Oh, okay. Well, that's good, Rhonda. But if you're insulin resistant, they're spiking your sugars. So that's really the conversation. So because think about it. Okay. Again, this is if you are viewing everything. So I'm super narrow in my conversation. I'm very, very narrow. I am not broad. I'm not the broad conversation of food person. Okay. Because I'm viewing everything through insulin resistance. So if you are insulin resistant, that means you have to stop spiking your sugars and calling on a lot of insulin because your cells are resistant. Thank you for the follow. Your cells are resistant to the insulin and the fuel. Okay. So you need your cell to open up and receive insulin and fuel again. And if you can't get your cell to be sensitive again, you're just going to keep on doing this, hitting the broken key of insulin, and then the insulin going, oh, well, your pancreas saying, oh man, I have to make more insulin because obviously it's not working. I didn't make enough the first time. So now you're making more insulin, which equals high inflammation in your body. And then what's happening is you're not getting fuel into your cells. So you're exhausted. Now you're craving more carbs. Now you're craving more sugar. And to top it off, the pièce de résistance is that the insulin says, oh, well, no problem. I'm a fat storing hormone. So let's get super busy storing fat. Now, if you are not insulin resistant and your cell works perfectly and it is not closed off to insulin, your metabolism is functioning and you can actually eat differently than somebody who is insulin resistant. So it's a baseline lens of glasses to view everything through, because once you're insulin resistant, if your insulin and your sugar stay high, you can't lose weight, you're stuck. So great story that I love to share is somebody who found out she was type 2 3.5 years ago because her A1C was 13. Now remember, I'm the one that avoided type 2. I was gestational with my first baby, hypoglycemic with my second baby. So I was insulin resistant for 20 years, and then I fixed it through supplementation, and then I eventually switched out my foods so that I could fix what got me into the pickle to begin with. Finds out she's type 2 with the help of meds and doctors. She gets her A1C down to like 6.9. Last September, she in 3 years cannot budge 1 pound. Not 1 pound. She's already started on berberine. She's already started on inositol. She cannot budge. She cannot get her morning sugars to come down. That's called dawn phenomenon, when you haven't eaten in the morning and your sugars are still high. And she's like so frustrated. So she connects with me. She sees me on socials, and she decides she's going to try the trio. That's the 3 supplements that have 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. Remember, we're trying to make the cell sensitive so that the insulin and the fuel can get into the cell. That's the whole point. All right. So she starts that, and in 2.5 months, after 3 years of nothing, her morning sugars go down from the 180s to the 150s, and she loses 14 pounds. Okay. Because again, you give your body some raw materials that it needs in order to go from insulin resistant to insulin sensitive. That's what happens. Judy, you're welcome, Judy. She says, thank you. This is just what I needed to hear this morning after having my sugars under control a few years ago. Of going back to the sugar grain lifestyle has brought the numbers back back up, and she's back on the horse again. Good job. Good job. It's not happening as quickly as I had hoped. Thanks for the encouragement. You are so welcome. Keep going. And if you want to launch your body, you can always consider the trio. If that's something you want to push that envelope a little faster. You don't weigh yourself, but you're getting amazing comments. You look amazing. People are asking me what I'm doing. This is awesome. Thank you so much. You're welcome. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Yay, yay, yay. Making good food choices, and you are losing weight. I know. This is because it's a biological conversation. It's just biology. Yeah. So how do you reverse insulin resistance? I'll tell you how I did it. And you know, because I was not, you couldn't take berberine. I know some people can't, and I don't necessarily know why. And I feel like, you know what, everybody's body is going to be a little bit different. You know, somebody might say to me, berberine worked great. And that was my answer. Perfect. Listen, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. For real. I want your sugar to turn back. I want your inflammation to come down so that your body can function and that you can move forward. Okay. So how do you reverse it? Well, this is what I did. So when I was in my 40s, my mom, God bless her, she would not leave me alone about my sugars because my dad had died. He was only 63. He was insulin dependent, 2 injections a day, a lazy Susan full of medication. And she was like, Kirsten, seriously, do you go to the doctor? Because I'm, gaining more weight, right? In my 40s. Remember I showed you the picture? Do you go to the doctor? Do you even have your sugars checked? Do you know where your sugars are at? This is me when my mom is saying this to me. Do you know where your sugars are at? I'm like, Mom, I'd never told her this, but I thought it in my head. You are so annoying. You are so annoying. I'm fine, Mom. I'm fine. How do you know you're fine? I'm fine, Kirsten. So basically what I did was somebody told me about supplementation that is the trio, the 3 supplements that are, they're not even sold in a bundle. They're sold individually, but that's how they work together. And I'm like, Mom, look I'm on supplements. And she was just like, okay. And I'm like, that's, whatever, because I had no intention of doing this. I didn't have any knowledge or understanding of how to do this. This wasn't a part of my wheelhouse at all. And so, I did. And how you know that you're beginning that turnaround is all of a sudden, and I hear this a lot from people when they start on the trio, their mind feels calm about food because all of a sudden things are going inside. Okay. And the sugar cravings begin to recede. The appetite begins to recede. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, I can think. I have like my brain fog is better. My energy is better because now my cell opened up and it's receiving the fuel that the insulin was trying to give it all along. That's how I noticed that. So I personally started with supplementation. It's targeted, very targeted. Then I eventually figured out how to change out my foods to be more protein forward. And that took me a while because I was doing it on my own. I didn't follow a program. I didn't find anybody on social media. TikTok didn't exist. I'm 59 right now. And I started this right shy of 51. I started to trade out my ingredients. So I was very like, okay, I'm going to ditch processed foods. I'm going to eat real food. But my idea of real food was, well, I really do love butternut squash and I really do love like sweet potatoes, and that's real food, and medjool dates. I could just eat those like candy and, all of those things. And so I was eating real food, which it does make you feel better. Like when you ditch processed foods, you don't ache as much. I mean, you do feel better, right? But my weight didn't move one iota from having started that than from when I had already just started supplementation. It's like I was already beginning this process and I thought moving to like better food was going to help me, and it didn't. Well, I was just spiking my sugar still too much. And so in insulin resistance, you have to just shift the way that you're viewing that process. And so, yep, you have to tweak and you have to tweak and you have to tweak. And that's what I did until I understood that. And I'm going to share with you before I jump off. This is an example. Okay. So if you are thinking to yourself, so the supplements, Ocean Waves, it's 3 supplements that have 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. It's where I started. So you can do a couple of different things. My website is my name, my first last name.com. And you can go there. And if you just want to be able to talk to somebody, you want to talk to me, you don't want, like, listen, I'm not going to go to your website and, whatever, just look around. There's a number right here at the top. Go to that number and text me and say, hey, I was on your live and I have a couple questions. Like, is this even for me? And I'll tell you if it's not. Like, I really will. Like, or you say, that's not my only issue. I actually need more help with like some hormones, or I need extra help. Like, I don't know how to stop eating carbs. Like, I don't know how to stop doing certain things. And you can actually, like, I'll talk to you. Okay. It doesn't cost anything, just to chat. Right. And I don't charge anything anyway for, for any of this. It doesn't matter. But then when you go down here on my site, you'll see the second button. This is testimonies of the trio. Okay. Go watch the testimonies. Get your hopes up a little bit. Like, what if there was something that you could give your body some raw ingredients and it can shift a few things? Everything has a 6-month guarantee. Don't be too afraid. Like, this is very low risk. And then I do have a couple of different buttons with a couple of different lists of different things for people. Like, I used adaptogenic herbs to help me with my hormones. I don't just take the trio. I'm a little bit of a supplementer, even though I used to never be. My idea of supplementing was taking ibuprofen. I'm not joking. It was taking a weight loss med in my 30s from Walmart that was banned. I'm not kidding. So I worked into a lot of this, right? Okay. But anyway, down here, look at that Facebook blue button. Check that out. It's for women. Over 3,000 of us girls are in there. And at the beginning of a month, this is the track that I give you to run on with the supplementation. At the beginning of every month, we do a 5-day challenge. And I teach ingredient trade outs. I take you into my pantry and my fridge, and we talk about supplements, and we do a recipe together, and you learn something like what we just talked about with the food that you can be like, okay, I don't have to figure out everything by Monday. That's old thinking. I'm starting my diet on Monday and I'm going to go cold turkey and I'm going to figure it all out and it's going to be perfect. No, just don't do that. Instead, I'm going to trade out one ingredient. I'm going to trade out one recipe. I'm going to add something new to my repertoire, etc. So I'm going to give you an example though of tweaking, and then we'll jump off. Okay. Does anybody else have any questions? Paulette, thank you so much for sharing. You're amazing. Oh, thank you so much for the hearts. You guys are awesome. Okay. Vex Dude. The trio are 3 supplements that have 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. And you're on Instagram, so there's a highlight bubble at the top of my Instagram. It's pink, and it says testimonies. You can look at that, or there is a link on my profile. You can go right there. And like the third button down says trio on it. It's 100-calorie packet of, oh, I'm so glad. Bluebird says that my food trade outs have helped her so much. Yay, yay, yay. Packet of plain oatmeal instant with no sugar and 3 grams of fiber, bad for us. Yes, that's bad for you. Terrible. Terrible. It is, because fiber is not your answer. I understand that's a common conversation. I understand that I'm being a little controversial right now. Fiber is not your issue. Lack of fiber is not your issue. If you're constipated, take some magnesium citrate. If you have IBS and you are eating a high fiber, sometimes, I'm not a doctor. I'm just a girl. Okay. Sometimes it can actually be really, really bothering your digestive system. Some of the advice. So anyway, but again, this is all based on, yeah, you're welcome. You're so welcome. Based on whether or not you're spiking your sugars. So if you took that 100-calorie packet of plain oatmeal instant with no sugar and 3 grams of fiber, and you took that, and then 2 hours later, you took your blood sugars, you would know yourself how much that spiked. You'd be able to tell. So Patrice, you're so sweet. So Patrice says, A1C 13 had stroke in February. Today, doctor appointment 8.1. Yes. Yep. You're rejoicing. You should be rejoicing. She says that I'm a treasure, you guys, and I'm valuable. Valuable information. You're welcome, Patrice. You guys are so nice. People are really nice. You guys should have a lot of hope in humanity, because I get the nicest messages from people. And I'm just telling you, people are nice. And if they're mean, just don't pay attention. They're having it's how they feel about themselves. So it's okay. You are welcome. Okay. Let's talk this for just a second so I can help you clarify, so that if you need to tweak something, you can tweak it a little further so that you can be losing more weight. Okay. Here's a tip for you. These Egg Life wraps are not going to spike your sugars at all. They are 25 calories, 5 grams of protein, 0 carbs. They're egg whites. There's no spiking involved. Okay. You can get different flavors and live it up. I don't think they have janky ingredients in any of them. I think they're all probably fine. So for whatever you can find, and they're probably at least $1 a piece, you get 6 in a package. Okay. Now, more expensive than a flour tortilla. I understand, but that flour tortilla is going to send sugar to the moon. This will not. Okay. Now, I found another product at Costco that I actually really, 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 really love, but I'm going to have to back off on it because it will stall my weight loss. Let me explain why. So this is a product. It's an almond flour tortilla, and it's Siete is the brand, which my Latino friend tells me. And actually, it was in my head, but I totally didn't connect it. It means 7 in Spanish. And so this is really yummy. Like, you can fry this in butter in your in a frying pan and get it crispy, and it just tastes flaky and amazing. Now, I'm going to tell you 2 things about it. Number 1, the 2 things that will stall your weight loss more than anything it's going to be dairy, and I'm not dairy free, and it's going to be nuts, and I'm not nut free, but I am dairy and nut. I pay attention, because if I eat almond flour, like during Christmas time, all Christmas long, I'm making keto treats and I'm using a lot of almond flour, I'll totally stall out my weight loss. But I love almond flour, right? Like, I love making, the pumpkin roll and all of the good, yummy things. Okay. The cookies and the cake and all that stuff. So this tastes amazing. However, now this has 5 grams of protein in one, will not spike sugars at all. 0 carbs. Let's look at this one now. Okay. This one, for one of them, only has 3 grams of protein. So less protein, but more than that, each one has 10 carbs because of the almond flour. Okay. So it doesn't mean you can't use it as a treat. The other thing, if you are really tweaking because you have an autoimmune condition or you really can notice that you've stalled out on something, you have to know it has one janky ingredient in it. Okay. It's tapioca flour. Tapioca flour, that's probably where some of those carbs are coming from. So just become a label reader. That's all. So is this a perfect ingredient, perfect product? Nope. Nope. And there are some people who would really call me out on that because it has tapioca flour, right? But we start somewhere and it's okay to have treats. I took these now for my grandsons. I'll talk about my grandbabies here for just a second. I love being a grandma. They're 3, 1.5, and then the other one's too little. He's 8 weeks. But they came over for Mother's Day. And so I was able to take these because this one from Costco has 20 in the packet. So I was able to take a bunch of these and I fried them in butter and I put like cheddar cheese slices in the middle. I got some really good cheddar cheese, like sharp cheddar from Costco. And I put them in the middle and then I flip them back and forth and they get crispy. I am not even kidding you, you guys. If you do this for this experiment all by itself. Tasted literally, and then I cut them into triangles, tasted like Cheez-Its. Tasted like Cheez-Its. Totally a much better option to serve my grandbabies, right? Like this is way, way, way better than, not. Now, I just have to know myself, right? So you thought nuts with all the fiber and protein are healthy, not the case. Yes. So cautious. That's a good word, Anna. Nuts are good for you. They're just really, when you're losing weight, okay? Like, listen, if you're at your goal weight, enjoy your nuts. Have at it. I'm not at my goal weight. I've gone from a 2X down to a large, but I'm not quite where I want to be. So I just pay attention, okay? Nuts are high in calories. They're high in fat. And so I have to back off. That's why I'm not against having almond flour, but if this is me, I know that if I buy a big thing of nuts, the mixed nuts from Costco, I'm going to eat the whole dang thing. Now, not in one sitting, but probably over a few days. I'm not going to ration my nuts because I love them so much. I can buy a big bag of pecans. I talk about that a lot too. Plain. I don't even have to have anything. They don't even have to be roasted or salted. I'll eat them. I really appreciate nuts. Now, your lowest carb nuts happen to be macadamias and pecans. Just FYI, if you wanted to know that. Now, when I go to a business conference or if I'm on the road and stop at a gas station to get a quick snack, I think you guys are tilted down. I'll grab nuts. I'll grab a little thing of, whatever, pistachios or whatever I can get my hands on, because nuts will keep you full. They will fill your tummy and they will satiate you in that moment so that you're not then, it's going to help calm some of that like food need. Like you're like, I'm hungry right now. Grab some nuts to quiet everything down. And then does that make sense? I hope that helps. So yes, nuts are good for you. I just eat too many. I overeat nuts. And then dairy for me is kind of easy to kind of minimalize a little bit. I don't like, for instance, with my eggs, I don't have to add cheese on my eggs. It's not, I don't care, but I want cream in my coffee. So I pick and choose what's important to you. And that's what I talk about a lot when I'm talking to people about, start somewhere. Yep. Why does almond stall weight? I think I said that, but let me know if I didn't. You know this all too well. Hey, Christy, good to see you. Good to see you. Yep. Egg life wraps. Yeah. I know you're totally stalled. And sometimes you do, you have to tighten it up, but you know what? Assess yourself. So this is the journey that I went on. And then I am going to let you guys go because I'm going to go eat breakfast and probably get myself a cup of coffee. When I went on my journey, remember I said that I didn't follow a program. I didn't follow a person. TikTok didn't exist. Like this wasn't a part of my wheelhouse, right? I don't even think Facebook Live existed when I started all of this. It just wasn't there. See you later, Bluebird. Have a good day. And no, not pistachios, pecans and macadamia nuts, Patrice, are the lowest carb. And so I had to go, oh, I think it might be the sweet potatoes, and then get rid of the sweet potato. Oh yeah, I probably shouldn't be having that squash. Oh yeah, I have to back off on the natural sugars that are so good for you, just because my body was going backwards from being insulin resistant to insulin sensitive. And so the gift that you can give yourself is to become your own assessor, to actually dissect information about what's going on in your world when you eat certain things. That's why a lot of people have glucose monitors. I've never done that. I've only tested my blood like when I was pregnant and gestational. Carol, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you so much. Become your own assessor, but do this for me. Do it without any shame. Just remember that when you were being raised, you were being told certain things, and I don't know what it was for you. For me, it was you eat, manja, manja, right? You're Italian, you eat, that's showing like, tell the person who made the food how amazing the food is, right? Like that's, very cultural, very whatever. Maybe you were told that, finish your plate because there are starving children in a third world country. Maybe that's what you were told. Maybe you were told that, maybe you were restricted on food and you were told that you should, whatever, like, whatever thank you for the follow schoolwork. Whatever your messages were that were given to you, whether they were verbally or subconsciously or culturally, just allow yourself to recognize that there are some tracks that run in your brain and go, oh, that's super interesting. Okay. No shame because you didn't put those there. They were given to you. No shame. Recognize it and then be able to pivot a little bit. Okay. Be able to pivot with what is maybe something that's true for you, something that's actually, like you don't have to finish your plate. That's actually the truth. I actually don't have to finish my plate. I know I've been told that all my life, but that's not something you were taught. The second thing is that you were taught, just like me, a very, very, very not helpful food pyramid where you were told that grains should be the base of your living and that it is extremely healthy for you to eat grains all day long. Well, that's how we fatten up cows. That's how grains are not the answer when you're spiking your sugars. For a while, your body can handle it, right? You're insulin sensitive. You're good to go. But after a while, overconsumption of carbohydrates, hyperinsulinemia, insulin resistance, I'm telling you, eating like this is not restrictive. This is freedom. Because all of a sudden you understand you can eat real food that is protein forward. It's not processed. And all of a sudden you're like, I'm full. Oh, but more than that, I feel satiated. Because your sugars are stable. So anybody that tells you that keto is not sustainable, maybe they're just not insulin resistant and they don't understand what it feels like to be insulin resistant, where you have that gnawing hangerness inside of you because you're burning pine by eating all the carbohydrates, burning up hot and fast, hot and fast, hot and fast, no energy, storing fat. That's what's happening to your body, as opposed to protein forward, very, very low carbs, because we're turning back, right? You're burning oak, long lasting oak. And you feel that's how you can start to feel. So that is Nana Banana. I just love that name so much. That's so cool. Anyway, so that's really kind of, all of that. But I do want you to know that if you want to, like, even now, if you are like, I need to get a handle on my weight before summer, I have got to figure this out, and you want something to help you launch your body towards insulin sensitivity, go and check out the stories, the testimonies on the Trio Instagram. They're on the top of the page. But if you want even more than the trio, you know that you need to maybe take this a little further. That's where you text me, okay? Text me and let me know. Listen, I've got a little bit more going on than just a little bit of belly fat. I think I need a little bit more of a routine than that. And I'm going to explain to you. This is my number. You can text my number. My website is my first last name.com. But you can go down here and you can search for yourself, right? But you can look at testimonies. You can look at the trio. It's probably, if you're going to talk about a system of anything, any system that you could come up with, this is, I don't think anything's going to be less expensive than this. This is under $100 for those three. Nobody else is talking about that because these are just simple, raw ingredients to get your body to function differently, to bring down your insulin, to bring down your sugar, to help your liver function, to help you with your belly fat, that visceral belly fat. That's what we're doing here from the inside out. I don't know. You just have to look at the testimonies because it's not about me. I'm not making any claims. I tried what, Julie? Mushroom coffee. I have not tried the mushroom coffee. I'm regular coffee person. I don't even know about that. See you later, Nana Banana. Yes, Rhonda. Less than that. Probably, I think, yes. Yes. And a lot of other systems are like 150 or something like that. This is no gimmicks. This is just giving your body raw materials. That's what that is. But yeah, I'm a regular coffee girl. I am. But anyway, so go to my name, KirstenLiebelt.com, and feel free to just look around. You're also going to find the Facebook group there. You find my phone number to text me. There's all sorts of stuff there. There's even there's a video that'll show you how to make a sugar-free. It's all one page. So it sounds like a lot, but it's just one page. Sugar-free chocolate pudding made with egg whites to get your protein up again. Homemade sugar-free pudding that you make in your blender. Chocolate pudding tastes amazing. So think about protein anyway. All right. You guys have a really good day. And if you need me, I am available. I'm going to go eat and get some coffee and I will see you tomorrow. So if you're around to hang out again tomorrow, that would be great. I would love to see you. And if you're on TikTok, follow me before I close down because I'll be lost into the algorithm of the universe. Thank you for the follow, Dara. I so appreciate you. How long generally does it take to reverse? You know, everybody is different. Some people are, I'm insulin resistant and I have a little bit of belly fat and immediately they're like, oh my gosh, I just lost 10 pounds, in a month. That's great. Whatever. That's a part of the process, losing weight. But there are some people, I'm not going to lie, like it depends on where you are in your journey. And it depends on how well you navigate some of your protein forward thought process. You have to fix what got you into the pickle to begin with, but your system needs to heal. So this is what I tell people, because I'm just going to be honest. If everything has a 6-month guarantee, why not give yourself 4 or 5 months of consistent discipline and routine? And you still have a month left on your guarantee. Just saying, you still have time. Ask yourself the question. Here we are in May of 2024. Where do I want to be by the end of the year? Not where do I want to be next Saturday or in 2 weeks. Maybe start with where do I want to be by the 4th of July? And then where do I want to be by the end of the year? Like if for you, your sugars coming down is really important and you use a glucose meter or you're testing your blood and you know that you've got to get a handle on a few things because you've got some scripts going on and whatever. Where do you want to be at the end of the year? What if you could begin to turn things around so that you feel energy, you feel good, you're able to literally, your aching starts to go away because that's a part of the insulin resistance is your joints ache, you're exhausted, you want to nap all the time, you're hungry, you're chasing carbs. What if some of those things began to turn back and then you had more function in your day? That's where some people are. Okay. So you know where you are. And I feel like maybe that's why I tell people text me because there's no way that I can know where people are in their own journey. But then I also tell people get in the Facebook group because it's just a place where I can give you a challenge every single month at the beginning of the month. and give you information, put tools in your toolbox so that you can take on that month. And then we'll go to the next month and I'll do a challenge again at the beginning of the next month. And then you can take on that one and we can add them together. It's giving you a track to run on with some encouragement and access to ask questions as to, like, do you have any recommendations on how to tweak this a little further? This is or is not working for me or whatever, right? Because everybody's different. So that's just my best answer. You love this. You will never change it because it works for you. Anna, thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome for the help. See me tomorrow. Good, good, good. Thank you for the follow. You guys are so good. All right. So I hope that answers questions. And for people who are on the replay, again, you're following me from Italy. I'm Italian. What time do you go live? 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, Monday through Friday. Almost everything you're discussing, I'm going through. Deborah, keep reminding me when you jump on that you're the one from Italy. I've been to Italy twice. Love it. My dad was 100%. You're welcome, Anna. 100% Italian. My mom was 100% Swedish. So we were going to go back to Italy again this year with some of our friends, and we are choosing. We have whatever. We have some commitments that we need to take care of before we can come back. So that's what we're going to do. But yay, 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 yay. So, all right. Have a super blessed day, you guys. And if you need anything, you know where to find me. I just told you a bazillion times how to find me and text me. And I would love to chat with you further. All right. Have a super blessed day. See if I can find my button's not there. Oh, that's right. There we go. All right. See you guys later.